Hey guys, it is Citri here again with another Runecraft Advanced tutorial for you. A little bit of backstory for you. Weaver, like many other survival-orientated servers, has a plugin that resets the end periodically to allow players who need access to it the opportunity to fight the Ender Dragon. There's more than just one, and that just stops situations like there only being one and the player who happened to do it, having done it months ago, never getting to see another Ender Dragon again. Now, in Weaver's case, the plugin we use is called the End Again, and it resets the end entirely every 6 or 7 hours. And that means that any structures that people build will get erased, and that's something that I'm going to try and work around today using Runecraft. Now, I plan to get around this resetting problem by building a structure entirely out of phase blocks or toggle blocks. The idea being that if the house is phased out, then I don't have to worry about the add-on resetting anything or erasing anything, because there's nothing that to be reset as far as the map files are concerned. Now, on Weaver at the moment, we're on the current Dev build, we're working with a rebalanced tier system. We decided to make all the tiers' effects be exponential, and to make all the tiers, their values, tiers 1 to 7, make much more sense. You get so much more out of a high tier now than you do before, but a lot of the imbalanced tiers have been reduced. So for example, toggle blocks tier 5, I get about 1600 toggle blocks out of a tier 5 room. If I make that investment, then I get a lot of use out of it. But if I just want something small, like 22 uses, I think, then I could just use tier 1. Definitely worth it for big projects. Now you can actually get a lot of blocks if you need them. So, I'm going to start off by filling this entire area with toggle blocks, and you can see I'm getting like 1600 uses. The reason I'm not just doing the stairs, like on the lowest level, is because when the end resets, it's also going to take the empty air out of the tunnel, and if I don't include the empty air as toggle blocks, then I'll just have stairs submerged in endstone, which will be completely useless. So you can see now, having done that, I've got a small platform here with a wee fence around it, and what will happen is whenever I flip the lock block, which will control this, the air will get phased in. It will phase out the endstone, phase in empty air, and the stair blocks that will have lined that as well. So it's a combined system. I'm phasing in air as opposed to phasing out other blocks. Having a lock block to control this is very useful. The lock block itself will prevent the things toggling from whenever you try and work with them, which is particularly useful. I started off with a keystone in this, and initially, very foolishly, I chose to use an Ender Dragon egg as the keystone. The idea being that the only time a player would ever be able to activate the lock block would be after they'd killed the Ender Dragon. There was a good reasoning there, but Ender Dragon eggs are really not very good to work with. I advise against it. I did use the obsidian panel to sort of host that lock block, and again with the idea that only if a player came through the portal would they be able to reach that. So you can see toggling now works fine. It did unfortunately trap an Enderman there, but here's the main reason why I don't like using Ender Dragons anymore as keystones. The problem is that they warp away if you accidentally misclick. So there's my advice, don't use that, it's just a bad idea. You can see that we've got our tunnel dug out and some foundations for the house as well. The next step is just to dig this all away, smash away all the default cobblestone, and replace it with the blocks that I want. Now in this case that will be stone brick stairs, and the rest will be empty air, so that I can have stone brick stairs and the requisite space at the same time. Now I skipped forward in time quite a lot here. That you can see the staircase just at the corner there is complete, and I'm working on the sort of tower house structure itself. Again, using the same principle, destroying cobblestone and replacing it with the blocks I want, in this case the walls and the roof. Now, there's a floating stairs here. The reason for that is because I lost track of which blocks were toggle blocks and which blocks weren't. A quick flip, discovering which one isn't, replacing the magical toggle block there, destroying the cobblestone, though not the magic, and replacing it with the block I want. I can get rid of the endstone now. Now you'll flip it and you'll see that, yep, here we are. There's the house, and everything is good. Another quick flip ahead, and the same principle works here, just for water. I placed a 2 deep row of cobblestone, that is to say, toggle blocks around the house, and then I dig it out. The top one will be toggle air, and the bottom one will be toggle water, and that is mostly because Enderman fear the water, like you just heard that one teleporting there. Very useful way of just quickly handling them. Now that's the majority of things done. Again, I'm not showing you most of the building process because there's no need for that, but you can work with gardens just by making sure there's air and that there's grass down. I made an enchanting room, all with the same technique, because enchanting is the secondary reason, if not the primary reason, that people want to kill the dragon egg, all that expensive, easy to experience gear. So that's the house. Now the last thing to do before we go and test this by resetting all the plugins and resetting the end is to change the lock block. Now I decided to just put it in the wall here so that it won't be defaultly available, and all you need to do is smash out a block, plop in a redstone torch, and destroy the old lock block first. And here we go. So I have reset the plugins, and here we are back in the end again. As you can see, there is endstone everywhere, the dragons are back, and there are new obsidian pillars, so I need to go tidy up the dragons before I can demonstrate this to you. But you shall see that it has survived the ends reset. Sink. Okay, so here we go. Here's the obsidian plate that always spawns in the same time, and the terrain is always the same with this plugin. I place in my redstone torch, the keystone, I activate the lock block, and as you can see, the tunnel forms, the house appears. Here is my enchanting room. A couple of the bookcases I messed up with the toggle blocks, as I did with the jack-o'-lantern, so those didn't survive the reset, but no biggie there, that's quite easily done. Just place down more cobblestone, still enchanted. You can see that the plugins have all reset because I'm getting debug messages again. The garden, I missed some toggle blocks, although it's much harder to tell because they were to be air. And again, that's just easy. You place down cobblestone, you mine them away, and you've got your air blocks there. It's very easy to extend this. If I were going to add more things, then I'd add farms, because those work too. Just 2 layers of blocks, one of which is farmland, one of which is the actual crops. That will work fine, as long as it's on level with the terrain. And tree farm as well, with a large volume, a cubic volume of toggle blocks. You could have toggle trees and all sorts of landscape features. So there you go. That is how I would build a structure to survive any form of terrain reset. This would work in the overworld. It would work in anywhere where you've got resetting or rollbacks likely to occur. So thank you guys for watching. This has been my quick tutorial here. Everything is shut down. I'm ready to go home. There's some lighting errors there, but you can now live away in your fluctuating ends. Thank you guys for watching. I will see you next time. Questions below in the comments. Cheers.